Yeah, welcome to Late Night with Bridget and Holly. I'm your host, Holly.
And I'm your host, Bridget.
And y'all, tonight it's just gonna be chit chat. But guess what? Before we start up our little chit chat, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. Click that notification bell so you can be notified every Tuesday and Friday when our new episodes drop at 11 p.m. If you listen to any podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, we are there. If you don't find us on your podcast, guess what? Email us at bridgetandholly@gmail.com and Bridget will make sure we are there. So, for today, of course, we don't have a topic. We're just going to chit chat because life has thrown us some fucking lemons, okay? And to be honest, me and Bridget has been having to make lemonade left and right. And we're just going to fill y'all in on how sweet we've made this lemonade.
That's a good way to put
That
it.
was a good way to put it. Good way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. But we have like Holly's been going through it with Jason. He's had some health issues. I'm not going to disclose it in case you don't want to. And no, it has nothing to do about him taking out the trash or getting it up or anything like that. Um,
And
it,
speaking of that, he did. I asked him to take the trash out when we went to my sister's birthday party, and that
oh,
shit is still overflowing.
oh Lord, have mercy,
Still
Jason,
overflowing.
Jason.
So
Well,
let's
his
start with
he's
you, Bridget.
he's
Oh, I'm
got an
sorry.
excuse though. He can't lift anything heavy.
Not yet. This is after his surgery. He can't lift over
Oh,
20 pounds, so he can't use that right
oh,
now. But
I got you.
on that note, let's start with you and what's been going on with Ruru.
Okay, so anybody that's been watching my social media knows that I have had to take him and have he had a suspicious spot that they thought was cancer. They did an aspiration of it. It did come back with cells in it, which means it's cancerous.
Right.
Of course, they don't know what kind it is till they did the biopsy and sent it off. But he just had all that done. Where poor little thing, I think he felt like a little pin cushion because he had several
Oh,
spot. Yep, they had several spots on him that they had to aspirate while he was under. They took two biopsies, one out of each side of his gums. Now I think the doctor even said she thought it was just scar tissue on his gums where he's chewed hard
right.
stuff and he's injured his gums, and then he ended up, you know, having scar tissue. You know how like if scar tissue heals, it'll be thicker than where the normal skin was.
Yeah.
So they think that's what it was on his gums, but then now the place on his foot, they definitely. I had two vets tell me that that was need to come off because they believed it was cancer.
Right. And you
Now,
don't
of
want to let that
course, we could
spread, of
always
course.
right, and we could always get the results back, and they'll say, "Oh, it wasn't cancerous at all; it's benign." Oh, great, wonderful. But with cells in it, it's usually cancer, is what they said. So, um,
But I
they
doubt
sent
it
that
spread
off.
though. I doubt because you know what I mean. You caught it early. It was a little
Right,
spot, so
yeah.
I feel like he's gonna be fine. But it's scary though. It's freaking scary.
Well, anytime you hear the C word when it comes to your family,
Yep.
your pets, whatever,
Yourself.
it freaks you out. Yeah, yourself. Yeah,
It does. It
it
really
freaks you
does.
out.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. When I was diagnosed with uterine cancer, uh,
Mm-hmm.
literally the woman told me she's like, "You're fine." She said, "You're not even gonna have to do chemo, radiation, or anything." She's like, "You're gonna be fine." And to hear that, it still was scary for me
Yep.
because you
Yep.
hear of cancer and a lot of people, a lot of people die from it. And even my surgeon, she was like, she said, I'm going to tell you, she said, I've never caught uterine cancer this early in someone,
Oh.
and even
Well,
she told me, she's like,
what made them catch it? Just your pap smear?
no, my pap smear didn't catch it. This was after my mom had passed away and we were at my sister's for Thanksgiving. And I've been having trouble with my period, like I always had, because I've got PCOS, and I have been bleeding for months. I just been bleeding so bad. I was so weak, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and just me going to the bathroom would just wear me out.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart would race and pound really hard. And so we went to leave because we had to take my best friend's daughter home because she had went with us to my sister's for Thanksgiving. So we took Kendall home, and Jason even said to me, he's like, He's like, I'm gonna take you to the emergency room. He's like, because something's not right. He's like, you can just tell you don't feel good. Something is not right. And
Mhm.
so he dropped me off at the emergency room, took Kendall home, and then come back. And they went and done. It was a surgery, but they scraped the inside of my cervix and ran a
Mhm.
camera up there and stuff like that. And that's when she had found it. She was like, your cervix was really, really, really thick, and stuff like that. And she said, we did we did find some spots. She said, and it is uterine cancer. She said, but it's
That's
very,
scary.
very early. Yeah, and she said surgery will take care of it. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God. And I just busted out crying. Jason
Mhm.
hadn't got back yet. I'm on the phone with my sister. I'm bawling my eyes out. And so he gets back, and, we're telling him everything that had happened and stuff like that. And so I didn't want to do the surgery around here because I don't know. I just felt more comfortable going further, which is Wake Med Forest up in Raleigh. And so I went to Dr. Lee, who was my doctor and surgeon. And it was same day. Went into recovery, came home, and they took everything. She said, if both your ovaries look grimy, we're going to take them. She was like, I just
Mhm.
want to tell you that. She's like, because a lot of what people or females don't realize is it's really, really hard to detect ovarian cancer. And she says she didn't want me to have to worry about that because with everything gone, there's no risk of it coming back because there's nothing for it to latch on to or whatever. And
Mhm.
so she took them and she was like, you're good. She said, we got everything into surgery. You're fine. No chemo, no nothing. But I was just worried. It still terrified me so bad.
Mhm. Now, do you know that 90%, 90 some percent of cervical, ovarian, female cancers, even throat cancers, are caused by a virus called HPV, and it is generally sexually transmitted.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I did know that. I did know that. Um, Mine, I didn't test positive for that and didn't have that, so I don't know. It's just me having PCOS and very bad periods, if that's what caught it or whatever. I almost like one time when I went to the gyno, she felt like I was in early stages of endometriosis.
Right.
But they never really done anything about it. We didn't ever really follow up about it or anything. And that's what she was thinking that I was gonna have. And then just a couple of years went by, and then that's when I started having the bleeding real bad, and ended up going to the emergency room, and that's when they found what they did.
Now, see, that's a little concerning to me because Brittany, right now, she's been having issues, my daughter,
Uh-huh.
which I call her sissy, of heavy bleeding, bleeding for months on end, like week after week after week. She's been
Oh
having a lot
no.
of pain, you know what I'm saying? And she's to the point that
Yes.
she's went to the gynecologist and she's like, I have to know what's wrong. Y'all have to run tests and figure out what's wrong with me because something's not right.
Right.
And so I'm hoping they get on that and they take it serious, and figure out what's going on there.
If not, tell her to go further. Or I'm gonna be honest, like where y'all live, I don't know how far y'all are from Raleigh, but Bridget, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Raleigh, Wake Mid Forest has such good doctors. I've had all my surgeries there, from my brain surgery to
Mm-hmm.
my hysterectomy. Now my appendectomy, that was an emergency, so that got done down here in Scotland. And Dr. Saloon was an amazing doctor. He's got awesome bedside manner. He's a very, very caring doctor. But I just the doctors up there, they're more equipped up there
Yeah,
at Duke because it is the number one medical hospital anyway. And
right,
even down here in Scotland, they'll tell you, we're not equipped to do this. We're going to have to send you up to Duke.
right.
So if Cece's not getting any answers, I highly, highly recommend that you tell her to go up to Wake Med, because the
Yeah, I
doctors up there
will.
are absolutely amazing, absolutely, and they'll find out what's wrong. They will find out what's wrong because the doctor that actually found out what was wrong with me, she was a doctor that was on call or not on call. She was a doctor. She only works um in that hospital on Thanksgiving. That's the only day she works there, and she's from California. And
Huh. Why, wonder why she
she
just
saved
works
my
there on
life.
things.
I
Well,
don't know.
it's so it was good that you got her. It's good that
Yes,
you ended up with her.
Dr.
Yeah,
Buchanan. That was her name,
doctor.
Dr. Buchanan from
Uh,
California. And I'll
California.
never, she was so sweet. She was so caring. And I will say to this day that that woman saved my life because I don't know if anybody else would have been in there if they would have found that or done that.
If they'd have been that, because like you said, you get these doctors. You'll get some that seem like they really care.
Uh huh.
You know, they really want to get it, but then they don't follow up and they don't seem like they care. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, that goes along with that, what you just said, the word you said, bedside manner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've seen some of them that act like they don't really care what's going on, you know,
Yeah.
could
You
care
got to have
less.
good bedside manner. I mean, that's the most important thing for me in a doctor.
Mm
You
hmm.
know,
Mm
you got to have amazing bedside manner. If not, then I'm not gonna come to you because you're scaring me, and you just seem like you don't you don't fucking care.
hmm. Yeah. And you run into some of them like that. Okay. So we talked
Yeah,
about so do you want to go into any details with Jason about what's going on with him right now?
yeah. So, because even when I go live on TikTok, I tell people, you know, I'll fill you in when we know more, and when we're ready to talk about it. Well, you know, which you know, he's always struggled with his diverticulitis, and right lately it had gotten really bad. He was having blood coming out of his urine. He was keeping a UTI. We thought because his diabetes wasn't quite under control that was doing it, because if your diabetes is extremely high, you keep a UTI. And it's rare for a guy to get a UTI anyway, unless you are diabetic.
Mm
Well, we went to our family doctor couple of times. He was on a couple of rounds of antibiotic. Then it was as soon as he would get off the antibiotic, the blood would come back and air would come out when he would, you know, use the bathroom, urinate. And so our family doctor set him up an appointment with a urologist. Took him there. He had a bladder scan, kidney scan. They tested for prostate cancer, all that. They were like, okay, we know everything looks fine. We think it's just, you know, a UTI. We'll put you on a stronger round of antibiotics. So we did that. Soon as he stopped taking the antibiotics, like 3 days later, it started back. So we go back to the urologist, which was actually just for a follow up. No, 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 no. I take that back. He had called me. I was at work one morning, and a lot of blood had come out when he had peed. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call them, see if I can get a urine cup, bring it to you. You pee, and I'm gonna take it to him. And I did that, and he went in like 2 days later.
hmm. Mm hmm.
And they said, okay, well, we're going to take and send you with a CAT scan with and without contrast. And when they
Right.
did that, the report come back and he has a large fistula tear. But it starts with a C. It's like a covectal or cola something
Mm hmm.
fistula tear.
Mm
But
hmm.
on top of that, and this all comes from his diverticulitis, on top of that, because of his diverticulitis being so bad, it has took his intestines and merged them and bonded with his bladder. So therefore, he's got feces going and blood going through um, his bladder, and he's
That's dangerous.
exactly. So when his urologist saw that, and I love her. She's such an amazing doctor. She really is. She sent him to the GI doctor, and we went there, talked to him. He told us, well, you're gonna have to have surgery. He said, but I'm gonna need to do a colonoscopy so we can see what we're looking at, and you're gonna get operated on by me, and then you're gonna get operated on by the urologist, because what's gonna happen is they're gonna go in with this surgery,
Mm
and the GI doctor is going to be removing the infected part of the colon and repairing it and separating it from the bladder. So
Mm-hmm.
while he's doing that, once he separates from the bladder, the urologist will come in and he'll patch up the bladder because it's got a hole in it and he's got to patch it. And
And that's scary thinking about having to have multiple surgeons on you like that, you know?
yes, because it's a serious surgery. It's about it could be from 2 to 3 hours long.
Mm.
And but what made me feel good is the fact that our doctor said, you're young, you're pretty healthy. He was like, you're gonna be fine. The
Mm-hmm.
only and he broke it down by percentages of 18%, 10%, and 5%. 85% chance he's gonna do good, come home. The 5% is if he goes in and he's too swollen and he has like an infection, he would have to come home with a colostomy bag for a couple of months until they flushed out the infection and got the swelling in his intestines down so they could operate. But he
Mm-hmm.
said that's a 5% chance. I
Right.
think he said he's seen that like once. And he's done
Right.
this surgery hundreds and hundreds of times. But I'm glad that we got to the bottom of what's going on. And it took a couple of months, but
Mm-hmm.
after he'll go next Monday for his surgery. We got to be there at 5:30 in the morning, 5-day hospital stay, and he'll come home and recover, and he'll be back to normal, if not
Yeah.
better, and he
Yeah.
won't have diverticulitis anymore.
Right. And see, now that I have diverticulitis, but it's never given me any issues that I know of. But it can always get, can it not? Is that not something that can it progress and get worse?
Sorry, I had a cough today. My sinuses are draining, but it can because when he first got diagnosed, it was just mild. He was just having little flare ups here and there, and then over the years, it just got worse and
Now,
worse
what is
and
that when
worse.
you say a flare up with diverticulitis? What is a flare up? What does it do?
When you have a diverticulitis flare up, you are in excruciating pain
Oh, okay.
and you constantly feel like you've got to take a shit.
Oh,
And when you go to the bathroom, you're miserable, you're in pain. Like, he has been in pain so bad it will make him throw up because the pain is so unbearable.
right.
And once you use the bathroom and you relieve yourself, all the pain goes away. So
Oh,
then you're
okay.
good. But then it can like it can last once. It can last for 30 minutes. It can last for an hour. His last episode lasted for 3 hours.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't think he'll get mad. I don't know if I say this, but it's not funny. But his pain, that episode that he had a couple of days ago, last Saturday actually, because we're supposed to have Andrew's cookout and party for his birthday, and we had to do it Sunday because he didn't feel good. But he was in so much pain, like he was in the bathroom naked. He couldn't even have clothes on because he
Yeah, I
hurt
think you told me
that
that.
much.
Hmm.
And it's weird because
And you told your company, don't go in the bathroom. You might get a
right,
surprise.
don't go about. And when he has those episodes, it's horrible because if we're in the bathroom, we've got to hurry and get out because
Yeah.
he's got to go. Because
Yeah.
10 out of 10 times, I mean, I hate to say it this way, it's always diarrhea. It's not solid stool. It's
Yeah.
massive, explosive diarrhea. But
She
uh,
talking about massive explosive diarrhea, like
it's like
poof,
pew
on the
pew
walls and
pew.
everywhere.
Yes, God, yes.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I've been horrible because with everything I've been going through, I've kind of been neglecting like my sinuses, and I've not taken none of my sinus medicine in the last 2 weeks, and it's wreaking havoc on me because it's constant post nasal drip. But when you they'll tell you to like don't eat this, don't eat that. They'll say stuff like you can't have certain nuts, you can't so stay away from Mr. Ronnie. No, I'm just kidding. I was kidding. You can't have certain nuts, you can't have like poppy seeds, seeds from cucumbers.
Sesame
Seeds,
seeds are not good for you.
no, no, no. But when we went and we talked to the GI, they're like, well, there's really no scientific proof that it does that. But the nurse was like, just stay away from like things that are super greasy, things that have skins. And we used to could pinpoint what would cause his flare ups. Like,
Mhm.
oh, he ate something greasy, or, you ate this or that. But I think it's a lot of stuff, because what made him have that really bad episode the other day,
Mhm.
he likes to eat nachos, Doritos. He'll get a plate, put them on a big old plate, and he'll put cheese on it, microwave it, and he'll eat them. Well, you
Mhm.
think about it, if you've got a large fistula tear in your colon, and you're eating nachos, which are hard and crunchy and are not soft going down, that's just straight
Yeah.
like little tiny men in there with ginseng knives just chopping away at your intestines.
Yeah.
And we pinpointed that that's what it was, because for breakfast, he had ate this at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then for breakfast, that morning, at like 8:30, I was like, "What do you want for breakfast?" He said, "I want sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle." And I was like, "Okay, he's a got a hearty appetite." And so he said, "Get me two of them." And I was like, "Well," I was like, "You sure?" I was like, "Those are kind of greasy." And I was like, "Well, if that's what you want." So we thought it was that. But then after I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? It had to have been the nachos. And the grease from the McGriddles probably didn't help. But I was like, it's got to be the nachos, because they're not getting soft before you swallow them. It's hard crunchiness that you're swallowing.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's what it was. So now he's too scared to eat like Doritos and chips and stuff.
I was going to ask you, when he does something like that and he has an episode where he's so bad he's in the bathroom like that, is he like after that he's like, oh, I'm not eating that no more?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. He
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I'm done with that. But I imagine once he gets this surgery and gets back to normal, he'll go back to his plate of nachos. But I do recommend, because I like chips. Back in the day when I was younger and whatever, I used to eat chips all the time. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying I don't never eat them now. The skins is what's my favorite, but when you chew skins, they do get soft before they go down. But if you do have diverticulitis, I would steer clear and not eat as many chips, because I think that hurts us just in general. So if you don't have diverticulitis, but you eat that shit a lot,
Mm-hmm.
that's just tearing up your colon, because
Mm-hmm.
it's hard, crunchy stuff going down.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
do
see,
recommend
I'm all for hard crunchy stuff. Well, see, when they did my colonoscopy, they said they didn't have any. I didn't have any polyps or anything like that. She said you have a mild case of diverticulitis.
mild case.
Yeah.
Keep it mild. I'm telling you, keep it mild, because it it does progress over time.
Mm-hmm.
It does, and it's a painful thing. Like watching him go through this, it's just broke my heart, because he's such a strong man.
Mm-hmm.
And to see him so down and out and be so sick and not have energy. And I mean, he's been so sick that he'll get up or bend over and he's really dizzy. He's never been like that. He
Mm-hmm.
gets tuckered out, if he's putting something together after, 10, 20 minutes of it, he's weak, he's tired,
Ain't it
you
hell
know.
how what age does to you? Like you're so
It
young and you're
is.
strong and you're invincible and you can do anything, and then all of a sudden you get some age on you and it's like you fucking bend over and fart, like
Girl, yeah,
feel like
girl,
you like
every time me and him stand up, we fart. We just get the fuck up, girl. It was it today or yesterday? I don't remember. But I was sitting on the couch and I had got up, and JoJo was sitting in the recliner, and all I did was literally just do one good stretch, and as I stretched, I farted. I was
uh-huh.
like, ah, damn.
Woo,
You
I
having a
mean that's
hot
it.
flash.
No, it's I don't feel good. I'm pushing through though. Y'all can't tell I don't feel good, but your girl does not feel good.
Yes. And I was like, you are going to make this call, because I know what it's like not to feel good. And when we don't feel good, we don't podcast. And there's sometimes where she very rarely does not feel good, but if she's tired or don't feel good and she's been sick, we won't do it. But she pushed through this shit tonight, because she is like nauseous, her stomach's turning. But on this note, y'all, if y'all are going through something, we just want to let y'all know, say your prayers. God's listening. He's paying attention. God won't give us no more than we can handle. He will pull us through it. But just keep your, and if you're not a religious person, you won't benefit from this. But whatever you do believe in, just keep your faith and keep your chin up, because the light's always going to be brighter at the end of the tunnel once you
Hmm.
get through it. Once
Oh
you get
yeah,
through it.
absolutely, absolutely. We're just letting y'all in on this podcast to let y'all know that we face shit too.
We do.
It's not always butterflies and rainbows. Even though we
Mm-mm.
try to be happy people, we have sicknesses, we have things that get us down, but we tend to push through it, and that's where we're at. We've
Yeah.
both been going through it with some stuff with Ruger and with Jason, and Ruger means as much to me as probably Jason means to
Is
Holly.
that,
I
I
mean,
mean,
so
so yeah, same with my dog, like Gracie, Charlie, Sadie. Like, I would be just as upset if something was going on, with them. And, I know me and Bridget are pretty much an open book, and we talk and tell a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't put on our social media just because we just don't. We
uh,
allow y'all
we
into our
let you
life to a certain aspect.
we let you know what we want you to know. That's right.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And if not that we don't, not that we're being mean or nothing like that, but being in social media, you got to have some privacy in your
Yeah.
life, because people attack you so much for stuff, and it's like, just avoid it. Just,
Yeah.
it's personal.
That's right. That's right. Well, you go ahead and take us out, Holly. We'll wrap this one up.
All right, well, y'all, we hope y'all have enjoyed this podcast. If y'all are going through something, feel free to comment. Me and Bridget will keep you in our thoughts and prayers. And until next time, y'all have a good night. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.